All right, guys, Canto 27, Dante's Purgatorio. As when it strikes at first, vibrating rays where once its own creator shed his blood, the river Ebro falling under Libra's height, while Ganges' waves are scorched by noontime heat. At that degree the sun now stood, so day was leaving when in joy God's angel showed. Beyond the flame, he stood there on the bank and sang the words, Vidi mundo corde, his voice far more alive than ours can be. And then, none can, you holy souls, proceed until the fire has bitten them. Go in and do not turn deaf ears to what is sung, he said to us as we came near to him. And I became on seeing what he meant, as though still living, placed within a tomb. Over my suppliant hands entwined, I leaned, just staring at the fire, imagining bodies of human beings I'd seen burn. And both my trusted guides now turned to me, and Virgil spoke to me, My dearest son, here may be agony, but never death. Remember this, remember. And if I led you to safety on Gurion's back, what will I do when now so close to God? Believe this and be sure, were you to stay 1,000 years or more womb in this fire, you'd not be made the balder by one hair. And if perhaps you think I'm tricking you, approach the fire and reassure yourself, trying with your own hands your garments' hem. Have done, I say, have done with fearfulness. Turn this way, come and enter safely in. But I, against all conscience, stood stock still, and when he saw me stiff and obstinate, he said, a little troubled, Look, my son, between Beatrice and you, there's just this wall. As Paramus, on hearing Thisbe's name, opened his eyelids at the point of death, and mulberries turning crimson gazed at her, so too, my obstinacy softening now. I turned to hear her name, which growing still thrives in my thinking, to my guide so wise, saying, What's this? He shook his head. Would you prefer we stayed on this side? Then he smiled as though to see a child won round by apples. Ahead of me he went to meet the fire and begged that Statius, who had walked the road so long between us, now take up the rear. And once within I could have flung myself. The heat that fire produced was measureless for coolness, and a vat of boiling glass. To strengthen me my sweetest father spoke, as on he went, of Beatrice always, saying, It seems I see her eyes already. And guiding us, a voice sang from beyond. So we, attending only to that voice, came out and saw where now we could ascend. Venite, benedicti patri mei. Remember, Beatrice was a real woman that Dante loved. Sounded within what little light there was. This overcame me and I could not look. Remember, venite, benedicte patri me. Sounded within what little light there was. This overcame me and I could not look. The sun departs, he added. Evening comes. Don't stop. Think hard about your speed. Keep up as long as western skies have not turned dark. The pathway through the rock rose sheer and straight and angled, so I cut ahead of me the rays of sunlight which had now sunk low. The steps the sages and myself essayed were few until, my shadow petering out, we sensed the sun behind us laid to rest. Before the sky's horizon had assumed one look in all its vast unmeasured parts, night gathering all within its lawful bounds, on separate stairs we each had made our beds. The mountain by its natural law had wrecked our power to climb, and all delight in that. Compare goats ruminating mildly stand where first, before they'd fed, they raced above the summits of the hills, eager, untamed. Now, while the sun seeds, muted in the shade, their herdsmen watching over them, leaning against his stick, so they can safely rest. And shepherds, too, will lodge outdoors beside their flocks and calmly spend the night on guard, so predators can't come to scatter them. That is what now all three of us were like. They as my shepherds, and the she-goat me, tucked up on either side by towering rock. Little was visible of things beyond, yet by that little I could see the stars brighter than usual, and of greater size. So ruminating, wondering, so at these, sleep grasped me now, that sleep which often will, before the fact appears, tell all that's new. At that hour, so I think, when from the east Cytherea cast her first rays on the hills, seeming to blaze as always in love's fire, lovely and young, a Donna in a dream appeared to me and walked along the lea, plucking its flowers and singing as she said, Let anyone who asks me for my name know I am Leah. And my lovely hands fashioned my garland as I moved them around. I dress here so my mirror gives me joy. My sister Rachel, though entranced, won't cease to sit all day and wonder at her glass. She yearns to see her own delightful eyes as I desire to dress by my own hands. Seeing for her is all as doing is for me, driven before bright antelucan rays, which pilgrims in returning welcome more, since now they've lodged one night less far from home. Shadowy dark now fled on every side, and with these shades my sleep, at which I rose and saw my masters were already up. The sweetest apple that the mortal heart seeks in the branches with such urgency, today will offer all your cravings peace. These words were those that Virgil used on me, and never had such tokens of good luck been equal in the pleasure that they gave. Desire beyond desire came over me to be up there, and so at every pace my plumage grew, I felt more quick to fly. Below us now the stair had run its course, and we were on the highest of the steps. Then firmly Virgil fixed his eyes on me, saying, "The temporal and eternal fires you've seen, my son, and now you're in a place where I, through my own powers, can tell no more. I've drawn you here by skill in searching mine. Now take what pleases you to be your guide. You're now beyond the steeps, beyond all straits. The sun you see is shining on your brow. You see the bushes, fresh young grass and flowers. The earth by its own powers brings this to be." So maybe Virgil's not going to be his guide anymore. I'll leave a star right here. Until in joy those lovely eyes appear, that weeping made me come to be your guide. Through these you may go walking, or may sit. No longer look to me for signs or word. Your will is healthy, upright, free, and whole, and not to heed that sense would be a fault. And not to heed that sense would be a fault. Lord of yourself, I crown and mitre you. Virgil, no longer guiding Dante.